Okie doke, no more. No more. No more. We need doers of the deed. A sister got to be able to move around. I can't be contained. You know what I'm saying? Black girl magic is real. Hello, somebody. Those of us who can relate to the everyday struggle of the everyday people of this nation must unite regardless of our ethnicity, our gender, our sexual orientation, our religion or no religion. We stand together. If nothing fundamentally changes for multi-millionaires and billionaires, then nothing fundamentally changes for you and you and you and you and you and you and you. Hello, somebody.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is So Damn Impromptu. That's the name of our show. So Damn Impromptu.
It's got to be it.
Well, I'm Nina Turner, and this is Amy Vilela.
Hello, everyone.
And we are so happy to be with you. We are in LA.
We are.
In the great state of California. And we just met with a whole bunch of Bernie Bros. Shout out to the Bernie Bros, baby. We have had a rip-roaring weekend here.
We have.
And it almost felt like we were campaigning again.
It did. Oh, my God. It was so wonderful. It was so wonderful to see the enthusiasm and to see people who are still in this fight and ready to get going on the next initiative.
Yeah, very encouraging. And people needed this moment that we just had, this weekend that we just had with a whole bunch of folks that are committed to justice in all of its forms. It felt good. Dr. Dooley was here with us. Hey, Doc. Shout out to Dr. Dooley. I mean, the sisters were reunited and it felt so good.
Yes. It did.
Yeah.
It felt really good, actually.
Yeah. It's a Peaches and Herb song. I'm sure some people may know who that is. Google it. And it was a famous song called Reunited, and it feels so good. That's how we felt. The sisters felt being here. And Hanya was with us. And
Hanya was here also. Yep.
Congresswoman Cori Bush.
She was here too.
Yeah.
It was a real uniting of everyone who was on the Bernie campaign in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think it felt good because, both.
And Alan Minsky from PDA.
Yes. I mean, there were so many.
So many. We
Feel the Burn.
Feel the Burn. San
Right.
Bernardino was in the house.
A lot of the activists here in California.
Congressman Gomez.
Yep. He was here as well.
Congresswoman-elect who just took now new mayor, the mayor's place here.
Yep, that's true.
Karen Bass. The Congresswoman-elect was here, which I'm blanking on her name right now. Please forgive me, Congresswoman. But the new person that is taking Mayor Bass's place, we had a whole bunch of folks. We had local leaders, grassroots leaders, and a big shout out to Jan and Jerry for opening up their home as they usually do about this time. I mean, pulling off an event like that was less than a week away from Christmas.
Yeah, it was pretty big. It was pretty big. But we got all of us together from all parts of the country and just got us going yet again.
People came. So we do want you to be reassured that the movement is still moving. People are still just as committed as they ever were. They just need some outlets. Hey, Brenda Sue in the house. Yeah, please send us some questions or remarks. We might answer the question. We might not. So we're going to be honest about that. Shit, we ain't answering all questions. So, no, seriously. So, Amy, it's been a while since you have been, in a venue like this, since your race. You and I both ran 2 times.
Yes.
We know what it's like. We supported a presidential candidate 2 times who was indeed the best candidate for this nation. But
that's another story.
That's a whole nother story. We were the best for the seats we ran for. Sometimes the best doesn't always win.
That's true.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's been a little bit trying for my family as we've gone through my husband's mother's death.
Yes.
And also, every time that you run, I think anyone who's been in that position, especially progressives, knows it takes a minute. It takes a minute just to that self-care, whether you're running for office or let's say you're leading a labor strike or you're out on the grounds, actually doing activism. I think taking a moment to do self-care is so important. Sometimes we forget about how necessary it is to actually just regroup because this fight is hard and they come after us with everything they've got. Everything they've got.
And it's not just the people who are organized against you. It's also smart Alex who ain't never ran for anything. And
I call them keyboard warriors.
Yeah, the keyboard warriors. They come at you talking all kinds of trash, never put themselves out on the line for anything, but then they gonna tell you what to do. Can I get a hello somebody on that? Is anybody out there who understands what we're talking about? Please give us a hello somebody. So the same issues that motivated you to run 2 times, they're still in play.
Oh my goodness, yes. Okay. It's just now we're in the strategy. I know you and I have been talking, and others in this, who have been leaders in the movement, like, okay, what is the strategy next? Because as we know, they're getting smarter to like, how do we defeat progressives? How do we go against progressives? I mean, there's a lot of things we need to do. And let me tell you, I mean, every day that goes by, it's very much weighs on my mind that that's another day that there's more unnecessary pain, more unnecessary death. Like, we can't get tired. And I know, like, you and I've had this talk. I mean, there are moments where you feel like, oh my God, I've seen people with this sign. It's wonderful. I still have to fight this shit. I can't believe I'm still fighting this. Like, and they're like, they're boomers, like, and they're still out there with signs. And so I think as progressives, that's the one thing we have to guard against, because that's what they're counting on, is for us to get tired.
Yeah, they want us to, but we're not. We were with Susie Shannon too, for the AIDS task force work, and just the beautiful Carlos and a beautiful community that they built here, and the solutions that they have to problems. One of the facilities that we were able to visit with Congresswoman Cori Bush was a facility where they have a grocery store, a pharmacy, and a workout
facility,
all in the healthcare, all in the same space for people who need it. No stigma. I mean, you go into the grocery store, it's not a pantry, it's a grocery store. They purchase the food at cost, and then they sell it to the community for 20% less.
And it's all fresh food.
All fresh, all locally resourced.
Right, from local farms.
So they're not treating poorer people like they don't deserve to have a choice.
Right.
I mean, mind blown.
It was
beautiful.
And they want to expand.
Yeah, they want to expand across the country. We got a chance to talk to the pharmacists. We got a chance to talk to some of the fitness trainers and the
community outreach.
Some of the what I would call social workers were there. I mean, it was really a very holistic approach to serving marginalized communities in need, and not treating them as though they deserve less.
I was really impressed that their viewpoint when they were operating this was, we want to make sure they want to come here and they want to come back.
Yeah.
That was the whole goal of all of the services they offered, was we want to like them to come in and be like, oh my goodness, this is so wonderful, we're going to come back. And I think that was so important, because especially if you're going through something like having a positive HIV test, or, and also at the same time fighting poverty and everything, all the other, economic and social issues that you face through that. Having a place that actually wants you to come there, they want you to be part of this family, was, I think, so amazing.
It was. And then another facility that let us not forget about the consignment shop or the thrift store.
Human shopping. I'm going to tell her.
Sister Turner loves some good thrifting, baby. Let me tell you something holistic. And so the money that they earn, the money that is collected through the selling of goods, go back into the servicing for the community. Just beautiful. Then we visited a living facility.
That was really nice.
Oh my
really
God. Good. Michael, who runs it, I mean, he's the CEO of the whole thing. And so you walk into the space. It's like a hotel lobby.
It is. It's beautiful.
It's a former hotel. So this is what they did. They purchased it, and then they cut the rents in half. Hello, somebody. Who does that?
Well, how much blight does every city have? I know Las Vegas has a ton of blight, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have enough empty spaces. If you think about empty schools, empty warehouses, empty, like,
keep talking.
We can just outfit them on the inside to actually house people who are in need of housing. I thought it was an excellent idea. And it wasn't just like put together to just be enough. It was actually very nice. It's someplace that if I saw online as a hotel, I've been like, hey, I want to stay there.
That's right. We would want to live
so
there.
I was really amazed. And we have some ex-burners that are actually helping run this.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so it's amazing.
I won't say ex-burners because I think once a burner,
but you know.
always. But yeah, no, it was a beautiful, beautiful site. And so we're sharing this story because there are solutions to the problem. There are models out there that if people had the political will, we could always find the way. And you could always treat people who are going through something in their lives with dignity. And that's really what the whole concept was about. Not to treat them like they're beggars or somehow less worthy. It is to treat them with the dignity that they in fact deserve. And but by the grace of God, go any of us who could need those services.
A lot of us have been through those things.
I mean,
we've been there. I know I've been there. The
I've
homeless,
definitely been
the pantries.
Yes.
I mean, and that's what else. So if you've been in pantries, you know, normally it's like once a month. Maybe if you're lucky, twice a month. They do it twice a week and by appointment, so you don't have to wait in long lines.
That's right.
That's amazing.
And you get to pick what you want.
Yeah.
Out of what they're giving. Like they're not just giving you stuff. You get to pick it and it's fresh.
I think for me, this whole trip, I don't know about you, but you know, sometimes it's so hard when we're going through the fights that we have to endure as progressives. Yeah. It is so hard sometimes to keep the positivity and keep the juices flowing. Like, okay, we're still, you know, going in this. And
that's right.
You know, I think of all the other leaders in social movements. I mean, even, you know, we can think about women in the suffrage movement. We can think about Martin Luther King. We can think about a lot of people. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen within months. And so we somehow have to have that same fortitude as we go forward.
That's right.
I mean, like, and you and I both know, I mean, there's a lot of like emotions going through a campaign. And there's a lot of emotions, not only internally, but externally and supporters and all of this. And I think for me, this weekend was a really good reminder of, man, we still have a lot of work to do. It's not a time to get tired. It's not a time to feel down.
Don't get weary.
Because there's so many people still fighting in this on so many different levels, locally, nationally, that I think we have a real pathway forward. And there's been some really exciting things coming up in the future.
Oh, yeah. We got some announcements to make.
We do.
Stay tuned. So it was the AIDS Foundation that sponsors all of the things that we're talking about. And it was just a beautiful thing. So what are some of the, so you've, any critical issues that need solutions? And that's Mr. Solomon. Oh, yeah. A whole bunch.
Where did we start?
I know. Mr. Solomon, the healthcare crisis is one of those. We know that, and I've talked to some healthcare professionals, and certainly Amy is the ultimate activist when it comes to Medicare for all. But the COVID pandemic is not over. It's not over. We might be done with it, but it's not done with us. And so
it's not just the healthcare portion; it's the economic portion that we didn't do well for our citizens in this country, for anyone in this country, a resident here. They were not taken care of.
No.
And those aren't going away just because we feel like it's done and over with. There's real consequences.
Yeah.
Jobs lost, houses lost. I mean, like these take decades to overcome for a working class person who does not have the means to just pick up and go.
Net.
Right.
You know, my grandmother used to say it's easier to jump into the hole or be pushed in if you're poor than it is to get out.
It's a lot.
And that's what it is. And so I bring up the COVID pandemic because as we hit the winter months, dealing with the COVID and also dealing with the flu is really going to be a big burden on the system itself, even as it is, as imperfect as it is. And you talk to healthcare professionals right now who are trying to brace themselves for that. What I would say is that some of the problems that Mr. Solomon asked that need solved, I would say universal healthcare is indeed in the top 3.
I agree, because it's not just about healthcare, but let's be real. It's also about people's ability to be able to work, to provide for their family. It's life and death. I mean, I am so tired of hearing the word accessibility, or we just need insight on what the bill is, as if like if you're on the table dying, you can be like, well, can I see your price list so I can decide which hospital to go to? I mean, it is a life and death decision for so many people. And then we add on to that, even take dental care. Like if you are not able to get dental care and you have teeth issues, not only is a health issue, it's a hindrance to be able to get work. It's a hindrance on you to be able to thrive.
It's quality of life.
It is. And mental health care. Let's talk about what people have been through throughout even this pandemic. Mm-hmm. That's not, I mean, mental health care is health care.
It is.
But it is, like we know in today's society, it's like, it's just separated. But that is so important, right?
Yeah, it should.
If we had Medicare for all, everyone would be able to see therapists. They'd be able to get therapists would be able to have patients who are able to pay. Like there'd be more therapists.
And it would help businesses. I mean, you're a businesswoman.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people know you nationally for your great documentary.
Right. Yes. Not done the house,
no.
But
however, they know you as an activist, but you are a CFO, so on the business side of things.
It's been devastating.
Universal healthcare would help.
It would.
Companies, they wouldn't have to deal with it.
Well, because the smaller size companies, the entrepreneurs, the people who have smaller size businesses, one of the major hurdles for them to overcome is to get the quality talent, to get people who are going to stay, to be able to afford wages that will attract people to stay with their company. I mean, this is in addition to having a great, company culture. I mean, that's very important too, but so are, the ability to pay people what they need. Well, if they can't compete with the large corporations, they're hindered.
Right.
And they can't afford like healthcare. And even the medium-sized companies, they're struggling to do healthcare where they could invest in more R&D or more employees for a fraction of the cost of paying for private health insurance.
And labor unions, that would take one thing off the bargaining table.
That's always the first thing on the bargaining table.
So that
we can't pay for anything else because of your health insurance cost.
And if we had universal health care, then labor unions could bargain for other things.
No, I mean, I think a lot of union members would love to have more paid time off, a more robust retirement plan.
Don't get me started on paid time off.
I mean to trigger you.
The rail workers.
Yes.
Solidarity to you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what the Congress and this president did to you is unconscionable. It really is. And to take away the number one tool that you have in your toolbox, which is to withhold your labor, is unconscionable and is quite frankly immoral. And when you brought that up, it did trigger me.
Well, you know what? It's why we are where we are now. We know, for those, I mean, I might be repeating for some already know, but we know the real loss of the middle class in the United States. We don't really have a middle class anymore.
No, we don't.
We have a working class and the ultra rich. And the real reason why that happened was back in the Reagan era when they undermined the power of the unions.
Yeah.
Up to that point, GDP and wages, they rose at the same level. It's now like this. So GDP will be rising and labor is way down here and it keeps lowering. That is what's happening in this country. And the more that we push away the power of the unions, the more we are destroying any kind of dream to have a life where we can afford homes, where we can afford to even go on vacations, where we can afford to take care of our families. It's going with it.
Yeah, it is going with it. That was a seminal moment in our country's history, what just happened, and we should never forget. Mm-hmm. And everybody, whether you're a union or not, you're in the working class. And I often say this on my show. Speaking of my show, what you see coming across your screen right now, yes, Unbossed on tyt.com every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 4:00 p.m. on Eastern Time, 1:00 Pacific Time. Please tune in and get a friend or a friend of me to tune in to. This is time for us to unite with our frenemies for Unbossed.
We need everybody.
Yeah, we need everybody. As my girl will say, everybody. How do we get corruption out of politics? Like Sam Bankman-Fried. Woo! Woo!
You done triggered her again.
Oh, Lord have mercy. First of all, we need campaign finance reform.
Yes.
I'm so glad you brought that up because this man was able to prance and dance with people holding some of the highest offices in this country. And he did it because we are within the system. He's not the only one. Glad they got his behind. However, politicians are dealing with owner donors, and he was an owner donor, and he
returned Citizen United. That's one
right. That's it.
We've got to
we do, and he admitted he gave to both Democrats and Republicans. He said that he gave the dark money to the Republicans because he didn't want to have to deal with more liberal-leaning reporters to answer to it, and then he did other groups for the Democrats. But that is just flat out trying to buy politicians so that when it comes time to regulate crypto. He wanted to be able to have soil that was more conducive for what he was planting. But I'm glad.
Think about how enraging that is.
It was a Ponzi scheme.
Like this guy has this much say. Yeah. This guy has this much say in what's happening in all of our lives. And if that's not a raging, I mean, and that's part of like, I think what the future work is, it's really finding a way to support progressives in this movement that are fighting this, but also reach out across this country in all the different communities and really start saying like, these are the issues and this is why we're here, and getting people like rallied up and ready to be part of this fight.
And in order for us to overturn Citizens United, we have to elect people to office who believe that Citizens United should be overturned. See, that's the challenge. It's kind of the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
So unless we get more people elected who will actually go there and say, I will fight to overturn Citizens United and other legislative policies that allow for somebody like Bankman-Fried to buy off politicians so that the regulation for the industry that he is in, so really that is not regulated.
Right.
We got to have more people who have intestinal fortitude to say no to the owner donors. So go to Unbossed. Okay, don't forget tyt.com/unbossed, or you can just go to YouTube and put in Unbossed Baby and subscribe. Subscriptions are free. You know, we were talking to our dear friend Alan Minsky today, and we were walking down the street, and of course in LA, we know that the homeless population is immense here. And shout out to Mayor Karen Bass, who's working on policies and techniques that could be used to drive that down. However, so there was a gentleman laying out on the street, and Alan and I were walking as we were leaving the event, our second event, and he said, now this stuck with me, y'all. I want you to follow me. He said, no other mammal would walk by their species and just lead them there like that. I mean, that messed with me. Think about how deep that is. That was deep. No other mammal, he said, would walk by one of their own.
That's right.
That was alive. And just lead them there like that. That put something on my mind. That's true.
Yep.
That's a whole vibe. But we do it on a regular basis. There are 500,000 people who are homeless in this country. Right. But now they just gave $45 billion more than was asked for for the military-industrial complex. Not to our servicemen and women and people, but to the military-industrial complex itself, putting this over $800 billion. Love to both of you. Never give up. Oh, thank you, Sue. We sending that love back to you too.
Thanks so much. Yes.
No, we're not gonna give up.
No, we're not.
So we're laying out things. There are solutions to these problems. It's called different public policy. It's called electing elected officials who actually give a damn about the people that they serve and not continue to worship at the feet of the oligarch class in this country. There are solutions to any problem that we have. There are solutions. You know, James Baldwin, one of the great novelists of the 20th century, once said, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can change until it is faced.
Oh, I like that. That's true.
Yeah. So any parting words? And we're going to do this again. I'm so glad that this is it. This is an exclusive. Amy Vilela hasn't done now. She gonna, but this is an exclusive that she is out back and in the public eye and doing what she does. And just because she did not win that seat does not mean that she was not the right person, the right servant, but the work. See, it's about the work. The office was just a conduit, but it doesn't stop us from doing the work.
No, and there, as you know, like every time anybody runs, you are changing the conversation, you are pushing the narrative,
changing the terrain.
You are making sure you're reaching out to people that maybe haven't been reached out to before. That's all part of the work. But I think there's also other ways that we need to be part of the work. And that's what I'm really excited to start facing and actually being a part of. And that takes some strategy and takes us to be 100% like there and ready to go.
Ready to go and in it and not being disappointed forever, because we are going to be disappointed. Yeah, we're going to win some, we're going to lose some, but baby, you lose all that you don't fight for. You lose all the battles when you don't get in the fight. So we're going to get in the fight, because the people on the other side, they not giving up. They're going to keep pushing for what they want. So we must push for what we want, and that is for what is just, for what is right, and for what is good. Can we tell everybody to have a happy holiday? For some people, it's going to be harder than others, but whatever you celebrate, because I know some folks, like on the Fox, they talking about you can't say Merry Christmas and War on Christmas. Ain't no damn War on Christmas. Whatever you celebrate, look, I don't feel like naming all them things. Happy holiday works for me, even though, I'm a Christian woman from the Black liberation theology. But I'm not offended if somebody says Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas.
I'd like to say happy
Happy
holidays
Kwanzaa,
to everyone.
Happy
And
Hanukkah, all the stuff.
mm-hmm.
And if you don't celebrate a damn thing, be happy in that too.
Spend time with your family and appreciate them. And for all the grieving parents and family members and loved ones that are out there, listen, they're with us in spirit, and know they're with us in this fight. And just, enjoy the good memories, and reach out to loved ones. I know it's especially hard for them.
It's hard. And some of our people are on this ancestral plane. I mean,
mm-hmm.
your family just suffered a loss.
Mm-hmm.
I know that around this time you think about Shalyn a lot.
I do.
Your daughter,
mm-hmm.
which is one of the reasons why you've dedicated yourself to being a champion for universal health care,
mm-hmm.
for what happened to Shalyn. So listen.
It's in their memory we keep fighting.
It is in their
memory and in their honor that we continue to push forward and fight for others. And I think a lot of us are in that same situation.
We are.
I know you are.
I am. Don't forget it comes in threes. We're fighting for the past. And I say
mm-hmm.
that because for people like Shalyn or others, like whether they're ancestors, where they died at an older age,
mm-hmm.
or they died very young, as Amy's daughter did at the hand of a corrupt and heartless medical system in this country. We're fighting for the past. Like those people have gone on to the ancestral plane, all that they stood for and what they worked for.
mm-hmm.
We're fighting for the present. We're fighting for right now. Like I want to see some of this come to pass
mm-hmm.
before I go to the ancestral plane.
I hope.
I ain't going no time soon. But we all got a date with destiny when it comes to that. And then we're fighting for the future. That's why I say we fight in threes.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, we fight in threes. Well, we're sending love. It's been 30 minutes or so. And we're just sending you all kinds of love and uplifting you. And if you can be a blessing to somebody, please do that. One of our dear friends, Marianne Williamson, I love this. She and I, we pray together often. And in her prayer, she will say something like praying for, that God will send you guardian angels, both mortal and divine. And I think that's special because your mortal guardian angel, you can be somebody's mortal guardian angel.
I hadn't thought of that.
Both mortal and divine. We've been each other's guardian angels.
Yes. Yep. I think it was really meant to be that we met each other.
Oh, yeah, baby. And ain't no stopping us now. Ain't no stopping us now.
I'm ready for some eggnog.
All right. Listen, I promise you I won't quit my day job. Okay, sister cannot sing. I can do a whole lot of other things, but singing ain't one of them. I'm all right with that. That's not my gift. That's somebody else's gift.
She's good at dancing.
Okay. So, listen, we got some big announcements coming up in the new year. Stay tuned. All right, we're sending so much love, so much light. Go to Unbossed, YouTube, Unbossed Nina Turner. Go to Amy Vilela's social media at Amy.
At Amy, the number 4, the people.
For the people on Twitter. Go ahead and follow my sister. Will you do that? And if you can, again, be a blessing to somebody, no matter how great or how small, please do that. Be somebody's mortal guardian angel. All right, we send in love and light. Until next time.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.